Well, good morning, tax students in the finance program. So uh, we're just going to take a look at the last tax credit for this course that we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be the federal political contribution tax credit. So I'm just going to take our T1 here. So we finished looking at a number of tax credits that are deducted from step 5, or sorry, they're summed up in step 5 on the federal tax form. They're not deducted. So once we multiply these by these amounts by 15%, and then we have donations and gifts, which have their own form with their own rates besides 15%. We add that in here, and then we have our tax credits. And so what we do with our tax credits from line 34 here is we're going to put them in here. And then we get to, there's further tax credits that weren't added to that form. That's because they're calculated based on their own rates. So the federal dividend tax credit would go in here on line 47. And that would, so we would take our taxes, subtract that from our further dividend tax credit, which we learned how to calculate in this course, and subtract that. And then our basic federal tax would be what we entered on line 50. Okay, so that would be our federal tax from here, from line 42. Federal tax on split income, we'd have to use a certain form, but we haven't taken that in this course. Add lines 43 and 44, we have our amount. Then we enter your total non-refundable tax credits here. So now we're going to sum up our tax credit deductions, put our federal dividend tax credit in here, maximum tax carryover, which was not a part of this course, add lines 46, 47, 48, put that in here, subtract our tax from our total tax credits. We have our basic federal tax credit. Then we have a federal foreign tax credit, which we haven't taken in this course. Line 50 minus 51 is our federal tax. Okay, but then we've got total federal political contributions, federal political contribution tax credit. So we have to complete the worksheet. Okay. So the worksheet is where we're going to get our federal political contribution tax credit. We would put it in here, and any other tax credits that are not a part of this course. So we have an investment tax credit, labor sponsored funds tax credit, not in the scope of this course. Add those up, and then we can subtract those amounts as well. So line 52 minus line 57 is going to equal our just the amount here, and then some other further additional amounts, which would get us to our net federal tax. And now, so we could, even after our federal tax is calculated, we can deduct the federal political contribution tax credit from the worksheet. So let's take a look at the worksheet. Just drag that away here. So once again, there are a number of tax credit items that we can calculate on this worksheet. Just remind you of what's on here. So on the worksheets, the statement of investment income, carrying charges, and interest expenses. Okay. Just talk about the ones that we covered. Age amount. pension income amount, federal political contribution amount, which we're talking about now. And basically, that's about it. We talked about this amount, but we didn't cover it in detail. An additional medical expense amount for lower income individuals. So there's brackets here in our federal political contribution tax credit. So let's just maximize this. Okay, you can claim a credit for the amount of contributions made by you, your spouse, or common law partner in the year to a federal political party, registered association, or candidate in a federal election. So it's claimed by you or your spouse, whether you made the contribution or not, or your spouse made the contribution or not. Either of you can claim it. Eligible amount is amount by which fair market value of your monetary contribution exceeds any advantage you received or will receive making it. Generally, an advantage includes the value of certain property, service, compensation, use, or any other benefit. If your total federal contributions, line 4900 of your return, were 1,275 or more, enter 650 on line 41,000 of your return. Otherwise, complete the appropriate column depending on the amount of on line 4900 of your return. Okay, so so what we're going to do here is put, like I said, there's brackets. So column 1, line 40,900. If your contribution is 400 or less, then you get a 75% credit. So any contribution up to 400 is going to get a 75% tax credit. And then any amount after that would be less, but so any amount from 400 to 750. So the additional $350 on a contribution up to 750 would be a tax credit of 50%. So you take the $300 from the first 400, because 75% of $400 is $300, and then any amount but over 400 but 750 or less, so an extra $350 would be multiplied by 50%. Okay, so that's 100. That would be another $175 of tax credit. And then anything over 750 would be multiplied by 33%. Okay, so you can see here the $300 from the first bracket plus another $175 from the next bracket is this base $475. So it'll be your amount minus 750 times 33% would be your additional tax credit. Okay, so what this is saying here is if your maximum tax credit is $650 for line 41,000 of our return. So let's take a look at line 41,000 of our return. As you can see here, the maximum tax credit that you can get is $650. Okay, so no matter what you put in here, the most you can have for a tax credit is $650 in 2019. Okay, so let's take a look at the demonstration problem. Okay, so here's our political contributions tax credit demonstration problem. Linda Han made a contribution of $1,000 to the Federal Libertarian Party of Canada, a registered political party, in 2019. Determine the federal political contributions tax credit Linda Han would be entitled to for 2019. So all we have to do is take a look at our brackets, and it's more than $750. So we put 1,000 in here, and 1,000 minus 750 is 250. So 250 times 33%. So it's another 8,250 plus our base from the other brackets. So 8,250 plus 475 is $557.50. Okay, and so then we would enter this amount on line 4,100. Sorry, 41,000. And that was 52,550, I believe. 50, oh, 557. All right, so then we could put this over here as a deduction, 57.50. We don't really know much more about this question, so there's not much to put in this tax return besides this. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll do the final demonstration together in the next video.